Did you know that many black revolutions in the Americas began with rituals from indigenous African religions?
Throughout history, black people drew the power to rebel against white Christian enslavers from the indigenous gods and spirits they carried with them from Africa to the Americas.
And here are just three examples. In the early 1700s, a group of enslaved African people, likely of the Akan people from Ghana, waged a war on Christians in New York City. The traditional Akan religion is a polytheistic belief system where minor deities known as Abyssum have powers that include strengthening warriors and protecting the community. And this is what likely inspired these warriors as they started setting fires to homes and killing white slave owners. Many of these African revolutionaries were captured, tortured, and killed. However, many of these revolutionaries would go on to inspire and or participate in later revolutions in the late 1700s, which would then promote the early abolition of slavery in the North.
On April 6, 1760, on Easter Monday, Tackys Rebellion unfolded in Jamaica as enslaved Africans rose up against their white Christian enslavers. The rebellion was led by a man named Tacky, an enslaved Ghanaian who was an overseer in St. Mary Parish. The rebels drew strength from their own spiritual traditions, most notably Obia, a spiritual belief system deeply rooted in African traditional religions. Recognizing the power and influence of these traditions, colonizers suppressed its practice by criminalizing it in fear of future uprisings. Thus, Jamaica enacted the first ban on Obia in 1760. This pivotal moment shows how Tackys Rebellion not only highlighted the determination of enslaved individuals, but also led to the targeted suppression of their spiritual practices.
At the onset of the Haitian Revolution in 1791, Vodu spiritual leaders led a ceremony in a wooded area known as Bois Cayman. The story goes that a Vodu spiritual leader known as a Mambo named Cecile Fatiman appeared, got possessed by spirits known as Loa, sacrificed an animal, and gave its blood to the black warriors who vowed to kill all the white people on the island. They also renounced the god of the whites, who they saw as permitting slavery. Also leading the ceremony was a spiritual leader named Dari Boukman, who was born in Senegambia and was killed shortly after the ceremony while fighting for his people's freedom. The Haitian Revolution went on to be the first successful black independence movement in the Americas and also successfully catalyzed the freedom and emancipation of all enslaved Africans on the Western Hemisphere.
Christian hegemony and the widespread influence of monotheism, upheld by colonialism, has led to a focus on black revolutionary leaders who embrace Christianity or other Abrahamic faiths. But there is a terribly underreported amount of religious diversity among black freedom fighters, a fact often rejected because of the stigma against indigenous African religions throughout the world. And the same religious intolerance used to oppress our ancestors and maintain their enslavement is ironically being used by their descendants to erase them from history.
But what is your religious background, and do you want a part 2 on this topic? Let us know in the comments and follow for more.